Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to launch system activities using intents. All right, so just dive in right away with an example, and this is going to be one that we could use to compose an email. Right, and I was kind of inspired by this because I saw the sort of the standard fab that you get comes up, has an email icon on it. And I thought, well, why don't we actually go ahead and send an email here? So what I want this to do is when I hit the fab, I want it to bring up a little chooser that lets me pick my email program, right? And you've seen this before probably, whether you use it just once or whether you use it sort of always. And it gives you a list of different options that you have if you have multiple email programs on your program. And if you select one of them, then it should go ahead and start an email for you. So it's got one stubbed in here, and maybe I want to be able to specify who my receiver is, okay, and maybe the subject, and maybe I even want to be able to send my message as the body of this text. Okay. All right, so I'm in my fab. So I'm going to write a little helper function that does this. So I'll just call this guy send email, and let's see if that's indented in. Yeah, there we go. So send email, and I want to write the body of it. So private void send email. And you can either type this in or you can copy it off the slides. Honestly, I got this from the link that's in the slides, and then I made some modifications to it. So I have an intent. Maybe I'll name it a little bit more explicit name here. So email intent, and this guy is going to be a new intent. And what I'm passing in now is a little bit different scenario. So I'm not going to be using this to launch one of my own things, but I'm basically asking for some function to be performed, right? And I'm going to use the send to one right here. This is explicitly used for email programs. Okay. So I've got my email intent, and then I'm going to set some information on it. Okay. So the first thing is that I can set data, so I can pass in a URI here. So for this guy right here, I'm going to parse, and the string that I'm going to pass in is mail2, and this sort of just makes sure that only email programs get selected, right, when it brings up the list of apps that can handle this intent. I tried it once where I had action send, and I left this guy off, and it brought up. It's amazing the number of apps on my phone that could handle a send intent. So it's kind of neat. The rest of it is just extras, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put some extras here. So I'll put an extra. The first one, and intent as a class has a bunch of extra keys set up here. So let's see. The first one that I'm gonna grab is the email address of the person that I'm gonna be sending it to, and I could hard code this in, or I could get it from the user, whatever. Doing this video, I'm going to use xyz@gmail.com, not my own, because if I put my own and you follow it in, then my inbox is going to get spammed by all your emails if you go to test it. So we'll use someone else's. Hopefully that doesn't exist. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a couple more extras in here. So we're going to need the subject. So extra subject. And that the subject, again, I'm going to hard code this in, just something from me. And then the body, though, is actually going to be what my text is in my message. So intent dot extra, and I believe this guy is text on this guy. Yep, and that's going to be the current value of my message. All right, so I've made an intent and I put some extra things into it. I'm ready to start activity. But there's one more thing I want to do here. So if email intent, excuse me, and there is a function that I want to call here that I need to look up because I don't do this all this often. So it says resolve activity, right? And with a package manager. So I'm going to have to get my current package manager. So like that. And if resolve activity actually finds something to use, so in other words, if it's not null, if there is an email program to use, then I'm going to go ahead and start the activity here with this email intent. And that's really all I need. You notice I'm not starting it for a result or anything because I don't expect any information back from the email program. I'm using it one way, sort of passing information from my program to the email app. All right, so it launched. So let's try it out here. So I've got this default message. I could go to the other one and change it, but I don't see the need to right now. So I'm going to launch the emailer here, and you notice it does bring up my my different options for emailers. And I'm going to select one here, say Gmail, and just do it just once, so it continues to come up in the future. And then here we go. All right, so from me, it puts it automatically. 2 should have the XYZ in here. Not sure why. That's because I had got a bug in here, right? So I said xyz.gmail.com should have been @gmail.com, right? But otherwise, that's going to launch again. But we see that we get the subject here, and we get the message as we'd expect. All right. I'll let you run that again if you want to see what it looks like. So just moving on. So this is an intent to compose an email. What other kind of ones are there out there? Well, there's crazy large numbers of them. If you follow this link here in the developer docs about common intents, you'll see the emails there. But there's also a whole bunch of ones, right? So alarm clocks and calendars, and can you start a camera? Can you go to your contact app? File storage, local actions, maps, music or video, new notes, phone, search settings, text messaging, web browser, all sorts of crazy amounts of stuff here. I have played with maybe about a third to a half of these, and I've had pretty good luck with them. So later on in the course, we'll probably mess around with the camera, for instance. And other ones, if you need them in your app, then they're a quick way to reuse other code that's in part of other apps. So pretty neat stuff. So let's summarize one final time here when we're talking about activities and intents, because we've added in this new idea. So intents, we're gonna launch activities, extra send info, but it's not just activities that we have defined like we've seen in these couple, but also now we see that we can launch system activities. All right, that's all we got for this lesson. See you later.